So inflammatory conditions of hearts to be seen, that we are aware that whenever the outer area is getting infected, like for oral cavity is getting infection, or in case the nasal cavity or the respiratory tract is getting infection, any system which is getting infection, the lymphatic system will carry that infection towards the heart, and these blood vessels will carry these infection towards the heart. Till the immune system is active, it will fight. In the next case, if it is not able to manage that infection, till the antigens and antibodies who are like taking care of these infections, they will take care. But if it is not able to, then in that case, it will invade the heart. Okay, so the particularly the heart layers are getting affected. So let's see. Myocardium, we know that this is the thickest layer. It is the middle layer. Epicardium and the endocardium, which is the inner layer. So this we have already seen. Myocardium, which is muscle shown in the red. Epicardium, which is the outer surface of the myocardium, which is located over here. Endocardium, which is the interior layer. Even in rheumatic heart diseases, we'll study in the next class. So there also these walls are getting, if endocardium is getting affected, definitely what will happen here, the walls are situated. Walls will also get embedded with the infection. So let's take first layer, that is myocarditis. Very important, as myocardium is already working for the contraction and relaxation, repolarization and depolarization activities. So in this case, it will be very fatal. If like a patient gets infection in the myocardium, that means patient may suffer with the severe fatal condition of heart, and the patient may also die with this. So it is the inflammation of what? Heart muscles, and that is the thickest muscle. Causes maybe, it is maybe because of the commonest virus, or it may be because of the infection of sarcoidosis or immune disease or the pregnancy. Okay, what is sarcoidosis? Sarcoidosis is the growth of tiny collection of inflammatory cells in different parts of the body. So this grow is mostly occurring in what? Lungs, lymph nodes, eye, skin. So all these organs, if it is getting affected, then there will be the tiny collection of inflammatory cells in all these parts of the body, and that it will invade from the lymphatic system towards the cardiac system. And this is also called as immune disease, because immune system is taking care till its end. It will struggle to fight the infection, but afterwards it will not be able to. Then in that case, it will reach towards the heart. Then in next, it is like even in pregnancy, if this infection is invading inside, then it will be again the reason for myocarditis. What is its pathophysiology? So very simple. We know that virus will invade the muscles through the local inflammation. So outer side, I said once it will be the outer part of the body which is getting exposed to the inflammation or the bacterial or viral, then it will invade inside the body through the lymphatic systems. After this infection subsides, the body's immune system continues to fight that inflammatory, and like due to this, it will inflict what? Inflammatory damage to the heart muscles, because at the end stage, till the end stage, they have immune system has fighted. But lastly, if it is not able to totally have and that potentiality to clear the inflammation, so in that case, it will reach the heart muscles, and inflammatory damage to the heart muscles will occur. And this immune response prolongs the myocarditis, means it will be prolonging the inflammation of myocardium. So we can see over here how it is occurring, how this myocardial layer are getting inflamed, and see this. This is reddening and swelling of this particular part has got thickened, and again simultaneously walls will also get damaged over here. What will be the signs symptoms in this case? So there will be mild and cause no noticeable symptoms most probably, but pain in chest will be there. In case serious heart failure might happen, then shortness of breathing difficulties, because we know that cardiac system and pulmonary system are vice versa connected to each other. Then tiredness, as already the myocardium is leading action for like pumping out the blood, as ventricles are pumping blood, myocardial muscles are the active role player to pump out the blood. So if the blood is not being ejected properly in the system, in that case, the patient will get fatigued, fluid accumulation in the lungs, and heart will be getting rhythms of the irregularities. Rhythms will be irregular. So arrhythmic conditions of the heart will happen. So fluid accumulation is where in the lungs and the heart layers, because infection has already accumulated, immune system is trying to fight out. Then rhythms will be irregular as ventricles are not able to get in a proper rhythm because muscles are affected. So it will be not spontaneously or not gradually functioning as what it was normally functioning, and it will lead to what? Inflammation and scarring. What can be the diagnosis? Very important. We have already seen that cardiac markers are the first priority to set the benchmark if infection is there. So it is a gold standard that if there is any kind of inflammation of the tissues or the cells, then in that case CPK will be raised in the blood test. Then detect the signs of irritation of the heart muscles. We have to see electrocardiogram. We'll check for the rhythm, and even the scans will show the any part that is being growth or like any kind of blockages there. In that case, the nuclear heart scan will be helpful. Then in treatment, what kind of treatment? We can give corticosteroids. Okay, this may be helpful in certain cases, but again we have to check that corticosteroids will be dangerous. Why? Because it can have its own anti-inflammatory properties, but it can also have the contraindications in some cases. So these are the drugs which will lower the inflammation in the body. Okay, corticosteroids are reducing the inflammation, and it's also reducing the immune system activity. So wherever corticosteroid comes, remove this. Just remember that it is the corticosteroid which will ease the swelling and itching and redness or allergic reactions because of the inflammatory condition. So it will be reducing the immune system's activity. So it is having an anti-inflammatory properties, but it can also have some of the side effects. And as such, there is no proven medication for this, but still salt restriction is being preventive measures. Then ACE inhibitor, as you know that arithmetic condition has raised. So ACE inhibitor means these are the enzymatic actions that will convert ACE1 to ACE2. So hypercontractibility can be relieved. Then beta blockers, then it will also treat as well as monitor the heart rhythms, and abnormalities have to be checked. What can be the prognosis? Prognosis means what? How much chances are there for healing process? Is the patient going to get well soon, or it can be fatal, or it can be a chronic disorder? So in that case, after the initial phase of myocarditis, complete recovery might be there. In case if it is extended to the chronic heart failure due to injured heart muscles, if the heart muscles are already injured, have fought a lot, or it has fight a lot with these infections, so in that case, chronic heart failure chances are more, because ventricles are getting tired, exhausted because of arrhythmic conditions. Then fulminant heart failure. What is fulminant? Fulminant myocarditis is also the inflammatory process that occurs in the myocardium and causes the acute onset, not a chronic but an acute onset of heart failure. And if the patient is with fulminant myocarditis, are aggressively supported in timely manner, then it can have a recovery. So it is an acute heart failure stage. But if there is no treatment given, then in that case, patient may again go to the chronic stage. But we cannot transplant the heart, as heart transplantation means that you are it's a major surgery and you are invading a foreign body in the body. So it can be not supported that it can be so having a good prognosis or patient may recover. No, it is not so. But other than that, if any kind of supportive therapies are being given on time, it can be saved. Sudden unexpected potential fatal heart rhythms or abnormalities can be seen. Still, even though it is recovered, but unexpected some kind of rhythms may be seen. It can be like ventricular tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation, and in case prevented with the implantable defibrillators. Okay, so we have the defibrillators. Defibrillators is what? It is a shock machine, shock giving machine. Okay, you might have seen in the movies also, if the patient is going under the cardiac arrest, that time we are giving shock to stop the heart rhythm first, because it has gone so steady, it has gone so rapid, heart movement is there. So in that case, once you have to stop the heart, just take an example. If you are exhausted, you are breathless, you are tachycardic, what I have to do? I have to make you sit once to get you in the rest phase. So same thing with the heart. That heart has done such an like hyperactivity that it has got exhausted. So I have to stop it once. So defibrillator will function that to stop the heart. But then after again I have to get them in the rhythm. So I have to give basic life support with the compression. Next is endocarditis. Again, it is one of the serious, and endocarditis means it is the inner layer. I said that it will infect 1/4 of the heart wall. So you can see these walls are getting platelets of the heart walls are getting infected, and sorry, this is leading to the embedding of the infection. So small beads are being getting deposited. You can see over here. So what will happen? This flapping of this heart muscles or this walls will get affected, and this pearl-like deposition of infection will definitely affect the walls. So if walls are getting weakened, means backflow of the like blood will be there, and then no ejection fraction will be there, proper pumping of heart will be not there, channel of the gateways of the blood is getting obstructed. Okay, what will be the causes? Will be growth of bacteria on one of the heart walls, leading to an infected mass called vegetation. Means it is a small growth of the pearl-like deposition over the walls. You can see over here how it has been depositing. Okay, so these small tiny pearl-like deposition over the walls is just attacking them, and it is just restricting them. Even here you can see how it has been embedded, and you can see that these are blocking the blood flow, and these weaken this walls, and due to that the blood collected in the atrium also getting backflow. Okay, so that backflow will definitely, here also you can see this yellowish pearlish color will affect the blood flow. So infection may be bacteria in the bloodstream after dental work, sometimes colonoscopy. Through the colon, if scope has been inserted to see any kind of findings in the colon. So that time, if these kind of invasive procedures, when we are invading some instrument to check, we are even doing graphies, so we have to insert some catheter. But if aseptic techniques are not used, so bloodstream will get infected. Okay, so they will carry the bacteria towards the heart. So in these case of procedures, this can be what? Iatrogenic. Iatrogenic means hospitalized procedure. Even though you are doing these procedures to save the patient, but in the cases of septic not followed, then in that case, septic will happen in the blood, the bacterial will invade, and it will be carried towards the heart. Person with at the risk like heart valves, aortic stenosis is there, mitral stenosis is there, mitral regurgitation is there, undergone any kind of valve replacement. So these are all the patients who have already gone through the valvular treatment. A surgical treatment has been taken place. So whenever we'll see the valvular disorders, that time these conditions will be discussed. But if any kind of valve replacement is there, so again these patients are at the risk. So you have to take care that all the procedures, whatever, even dental caries happen, you have to take care of your orodental, like mucosal care has to be taken place. What can be the signs symptoms? Very important. Any infection is there, fever will be there, patient will be fatigued, we will have chills, weakness, aching of the joints and muscles. Definitely they are not getting enough of blood supply. Night sweats, edema will be there. Malaise means tiredness, too much tiredness, shortness of breath. Occasionally small skin lesions will be scattered. Means the blood periphery is not being able to get enough of blood supply. In that case, skin may shatter. What can be the diagnostic procedures? Echocardiography. Electrical waves will help us to know that there is something wrong with the like walls or like heart muscles, and that is why there is no proper electrical stimulus. Next procedure will be transesophageal electrography. Just understand, means invading inside what? Esophagus. Esophagus is what? It is a food pipe. You are aware about that. You might have read in the digestive tract. Like in this, what will be happening? We are doing a test. It is a type of echo test. We are using a long thin tube to guide an ultrasound transducer down the esophagus through the food pipe that goes from the mouth to the stomach, and then we will see this picture of the heart without ribs or lungs will getting in the way. So we can clearly see the picture of heart through this. What can be the treatment? Infection is there. Definitely antibiotic treatment can be given intravenously, and that will be 4 to 6 weeks has to be continued. In that case, if it is chronic condition, then in endocarditis, we know that walls are affected. So we have to remove the walls. Okay, wall replacements are there. It is an expensive surgery. It is also dangerous, but sometimes these are successful surgeries. Then prognosis. In response to the treatment is indicated by the reduction of fever. So we have to take the like blood culture. We have to find out how is the prognosis. We have to see the findings on the echocardiography. So every time vitals has to be checked. Very last layer, that is the pericarditis. Okay, heart sits in the center of the chest, we are aware, and it is surrounded by the sac called pericardium. It is having a layer outside. The sac is formed like pouch-like. This sac has two layers again, and it fits tightly onto the heart muscles, and another looser the layer surrounding the inner layer. So in that case, if it is having an inflammation over there, then the fluid will collect over there. If inflammation of these tissue layers surrounding the heart is referred as pericarditis. Okay, you can see over here how it is happening. So it is a loose sac that is being covering, and that is the inner layer. So pericardial space, visceral pericardial is there. So some kind of fluid is normally there. So the friction rub will not occur. But in case inflammation occurs, you can see over here, pericardium will grow in size. Inflamed pericarditis, what will happen? It will touch the sternum. It will be getting more injury. Friction will be there. So in that case, it is inflating. It is collecting the fluid inside. Idiopathic, we can find out the cause of illness is still not identified. Okay. Mechanical injury might happen in case of myocardial infarction or Dressler syndrome. In these cases, the patient may get invaded with the any kind of infection in the Dressler syndrome is like a type of pericarditis, and it is a inflammation of the sac surrounding the heart. So whenever Dressler syndrome is being asked, you can answer that Dressler syndrome is believed to be an immune system response after the heart to like getting damaged. Okay, heart tissues are getting damaged to, or for the pericardium, if infection is there, so from the events such as heart attack, like surgery or traumatic injury, then in that case, if inflammation of the sac surrounding the heart was happening, is called as Dressler's syndrome. So heart surgery and post-pericardiotomy means particular opening of pericardial sac is there. In that case, if any trauma has occurred, in that case, if any infection has coming inside. What are the infection causing organism? Like bacterial, it can be viral, if fungal, or HIV. Okay, so all these like viral infection, bacterial, fungal, all can be responsible for pericarditis. In case of tumor or cancer also, if in case of primary, it is very rare, but in metastatic condition, what happens? That tumor will expand to, like it will move forward to the other organs also. It is spready. It is not situated on a particular place. That tumor is not, so infiltration will occur. Means that abnormal growth of cell will occur in all the parts of the body. So in that case, it is metastatic. So in such conditions also, it can be responsible. Then connective tissue disorder. In case of rheumatic arthritis or SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, it is an autoimmune disorder. Sarcoidosis, we just discussed. Scleroderma, in case of skin disorders also it can happen. In autoimmune disorders also it can happen. Then in case of metabolic disease like uremia, urea is present in the blood. And then if it is even in nephrotic conditions, it can be present. Then hypothyroidism, if the hormonal imbalance is there. any kind of medical reaction. Even I said that it can be iatrogenic. If medical conditions are there, side effect of like phenytoin, okay, then hydralazine, then procainamide. These are the drugs having certain kind of side effects. What can be the signs and symptoms? Again, very common. If infection is there at the heart, then chest pain, shortness of breath will be there as pulmonary system is also getting affected. Then fever, chills, muscle aches, and tiredness means malaise. What can be the diagnostic evaluation? Again, the common things we have to find out: physical evaluation, quality of pain we have to see, physical findings, pericardial friction rub we have to check, EKG, electrocardiogram, chest X-ray. If the size has expanded, that pericardial sac has been increase in size due to fluid collection. Then ultrasound of the heart we can see. Dopplers also can be done. Blood testing for leukemia, kidney failure. Yes, again kidney failure is connected to it. Right now we talk that uremia is being responsible for this. Then again connective tissue disorder or thyroid abnormalities may be leading. So you can see over here what is the normal pericardium. It is having a very genuine sac. It is very potent, but here in the pericardium we can see normally it can be like this layer covering is there. In inflamed pericardium, you can see this has been the collection of pus over there, and this has been totally reddened, and there is a size being expanded. Okay, here you can see that the pericardium is a thin sac enclosing the heart, but the patient is suffering with the pericarditis, may have severe chest pain, and the size will like expand. What can be the treatment? Again, we have to reduce the inflammation. So non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, as we talked about the corticosteroids, again here non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs will help to decrease the inflammation. So cause has to be treated. Cause is what? It is infection or it is inflammation. So we have to reduce the cause. So NSAID will help to decrease the inflammation, and due to that this fluid accumulation in the pericardial sac will try to reduce. Okay, narcotic pain medications can be given, so the pain can be subsided. So patient's vitals may not trigger. We know that if any kind of pain is there in the body, so in that case, pain will also lead to pericardial friction rub, and that will again affect the ventricular depolarization and repolarization. Then corticosteroids. Again, we said that it is again having an anti-inflammatory reaction. For immunological medicated cause, we can give this. Immune system will be managed by corticosteroids. Then in case fluid collection is too much, then through pericardiocentesis or pericardiotomy, opening that sac, okay, we can remove the fluid. Okay, you are aware that the sac is having the layer here. Just see, this is the two layers in between this fluid collection. I said that if friction has to be avoided, we need that normal amount of fluid. But if it is due to infection, too much of fluid is getting collected, a needle is inserted in this particular portion, and we have to remove through the pericardiocentesis that excessive fluid accumulation, so it does not irritate the tissues or the layers. What can be the complication with this? Cardiac tamponade may occur. We will study that cardiac tamponade in the next layer, like lectures. But still, what is cardiac tamponade? As you know that it has been like collection of fluid is there, okay, in the layers of heart. So it will be compressing the heart. Okay, this fluid will pressurize over the heart, and this collected fluid will pressurize, means the heart will be not filled up properly. So you can see here, if this part will be pressurized, will this be able to contract or relax properly? So it is a dramatic drop in the blood pressure will occur. Next is constrictive pericarditis will be there. Again, this will constrict and it will be leading to the pericardial inflammation. So this is what regarding the whole inflammatory condition. We have studied about pericarditis, myocarditis and endocarditis, which is affecting the walls, which is collecting the fluid, which is to be cause has to be treated by treating with the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Pericardial synthesis can be done. and these are the medicated treatment which is to be done very soon. As such, it has been moving from acute stage to chronic stage.